Fancy your chances at cracking open the forgotten fortress of Alcazar and nabbing the treasure within. Then you'd best bring your wits, nerves of steel and a fair helping of luck, because Alcazar is not as easy as it first appears. This is an action-adventure with a brain, and it also could be delightfully unforgiving. Released on the Commodore 64 courtesy of publisher Activision in 1985 and then republished in 1989 in the UK under the Mastertronic label, let's dive in and take a look at what made Alcazar a great game indeed. Okay, I did say it could be delightfully unforgiving, yet the game kicks off by letting you choose your own level of difficulty, a polite way of asking, how badly do you want to suffer? Fire it up at the highest level and you'll find yourself saddled with fewer lives, stingier supplies and monsters that fidge about like they've been plugged into the mains. You're then plonked onto a randomly generated map where you'll trudge between castles, each one colour-coded to give a vague hint of what terrors and trinkets lie within. Black castles are especially worth a visit, as they often contain a grateful prisoner who'll repay you with an extra life. Very neighbourly. Each castle has multiple exits, so you'll need to think ahead to chart your way through to the fortress, and as you proceed you can pick up magical items like rings and ropes to access handy shortcuts. It's a bit like orienteering, if orienteering involved fire-breathing lizards and bottomless pits. Inside the castles you'll encounter all manner of beasties and booby traps. Some enemies have a particular weakness. Toss oil on a fire lizard to roast it, or splash water on a genie and watch it pop like a soap bubble. Everything can be taken down with enough bullets, but item conservation is key. Don't go firing off rounds like you're in an action film, unless you fancy running out at a critical moment. The enemies in this game are surprisingly cunning. They'll come nosing about from nearby rooms if they hear you clanking about or unlocking doors. Thankfully, the game gives you a few clues. For example, paw prints mean a tiger's waiting to give you a mauling. Jingling keys suggest a guard nearby. And then there's the noise of a fly, which buzzes about just enough to drown out every other warning noise. Trust the torchlight too. Dim, flickering ones spell certain doom. But enter cautiously and you might just step back before plummeting to your death. There's a real joy in the game's tactical approach. Shoot blindly through a doorway and you might nail an enemy on the other side. Better still, tempt a baddie to stroll onto a magic carpet. They'll vanish, only to pop up somewhere new, so you've solved one problem and created another. Alcazar thrives on these elegant little mechanics. Often, evading enemies is wiser than fighting them, but sometimes charging in like a lunatic could also be your best option. It keeps you thinking and sweating. Inventory management can be a bit fiddly at first, and you'll probably accidentally lob your last item into the abyss when you meant to draw your pistol. After a few plays you'll soon get used to it, but if you're intrigued to learn more, then I've linked the game manual in the description of the video. Rotating items, firing in cardinal directions, all works well enough, even if it's a bit clunky to begin with. What Alcazar does particularly well is offer replayability through its procedural map layout. Every game will feel fresh, and with no score system to obsess over, there's no pressure to clear every last castle. You make your own fun, which gives the game a kind of timeless quality. Ultimately, Alcazar is a little gem, and for those who remember this from their youth will probably agree with me. It's rough around the edges, sure, but there's a cleverness to its systems that elevates it above the usual dungeon crawling fare. It's proof that a game doesn't need eye-melting visuals or orchestral soundtracks to hold your attention. It just needs good design, a dash of tension, and maybe a skeleton tiger or two. It's clever without being smug, tough without being cruel, and endlessly replayable. Just don't forget to check those torches before you step forward, or you might find yourself falling for Alcazar in more ways than one. Thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'd love to hear your own memories or thoughts about this game in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe and join me as we continue this nostalgic journey through the world of Commodore 64 classics. With loads of great games already tucked into the playlists, it's always satisfying to add another one that's worth firing up the old Commodore 64 for. It might not be a big thumbs up, but it's definitely a solid little title that deserves a look. If you're after more like this, have a browse through the playlists, especially the ones for Activision and Mastertronic. They're absolutely packed with gems. Or just hang about for the next video coming up shortly. Hopefully, I'll see you there. Until then, bye for now.
Are you